Number 2.
Hey, NorCal Carters, thank you for joining us tonight. And tonight we have a special panel from NNKC. And if you're wondering what that stands for, that's Northern Nevada Kart Club. And so we have Jeremy Callender, Aubrey King, Brooks Anderline, Kelsey Nelson, and of course we have Ashley. She's getting me going on these live stream things. But thank you for joining us. So if you have a question, if you want to chat live with us, you can chat on Facebook, you can chat on YouTube. And just a quick call out. In February, we're going to have a junior driver program. So get ready for that. If you think you have a junior driver or you are a junior driver with an interesting perspective on karting, reach out to us. We'll get you on the show. Also, we're going to do a Valentine's Day special. So if you and your significant other are tied in with karting and you want to talk about karting and your significant other, reach out to us. And also, we're going to do a mechanics show. So a lot of stuff going on here at NorCalCarters.com. And one last plug for NorCal Carters, decals are in the works. So they should be arriving here in the next 2 weeks. And we will be using the funds for the decals to help pay for more projects on NorCal Carters. And we'll also be at the tracks that we're doing coverage for. We'll have decals to hand out. And let's get to it. So let's see. Let's bring Jeremy Callender. Let's bring him on first. Jeremy, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi, NorCal Carters.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
I'm doing great. So Jeremy is going to talk to us regarding Northern Nevada Kart Club and the Supermoto program. So if you're wondering what Supermoto is, they have 2 less wheels than us. So they run the bikes around Northern Nevada Kart Club. So Jeremy's going to talk to us about that. And Jeremy, why don't you plug? Do you have a Facebook page or a website or anything like that you want to plug?
Yeah, we've got a Facebook group, Reno Sparks mini-moto, that you can find any information about upcoming races or how to get involved with the supermoto community. We participate in a couple different series, the NorCal Moto Championship Series, as well as Supermoto USA. And there's also some other, local club races that are going to be going on that, we'll be attending.
Perfect. And one more time, plug that group.
It's Reno Sparks Mini-moto.
And is that found on Facebook?
Yep, on Facebook. Yep.
All right. So Reno Sparks Mini-moto on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we're going to bring in Aubrey King. Aubrey, thank you for joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
All right. And you're a karter, so you're on 4 wheels.
Yeah, thank goodness, too, because I couldn't handle it on 2.
All right. Now, so give yourself a plug. Give us a little bit of background on yourself and why you're on the show tonight.
I'm actually a new member to NNKC, a new transplant from Southern California. Ran SCUSA for numerous years, and just been having my daughter out of the track practicing doing the LO 206 class. So hopefully this next year she'll be running Junior 2, and it should be pretty fun.
Very cool. All right. And then next up, speaking of junior drivers, Brooks Anderline. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. How about you?
We're doing well. So plug yourself. If I'm a sponsor and I'm going to give you cash, what's your 30-second line for me?
I've raced at NNKC since I was about 6 years old. I've won 2 Junior 2 championships. One was last year. and then I've got 2 Junior 1 championships, and then I've just been racing around for a while, so I feel like I've got reasonable experience in the karting world.
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. And last but not least, we have Kelsey Nelson. So many of you may know that last name of Nelson. Kelsey, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah. I'm also the treasurer at NNKC. This is my 4th year as treasurer, 5th year on the board. And I just want to really quick, Brooks is a super awesome racer, and he's been awesome at the club. He's really great. Aubrey helped out at the club last year as corner worker, and he's been really awesome. And then Jeremy got the mini-moto stuff going, and he helps with the karting and is also a really great addition to the club. So I think this group of people from NNKC is probably a really good showcase of what we have at our club, and we have a lot of people like that.
Well, Ashley and I both really appreciate all of you coming on tonight, and we're going to dive into Northern Nevada Kart Club. And I like how we have such a diverse panel right now, because it's here's everybody. It's kind of what club racing is, right? It's a bunch of different backgrounds and different people pitching in different ways. And then we have someone like Jeremy coming in with the mini-moto stuff, and yeah, it just you guys are doing great things up there at Reno. And for the website, it's nnkcreno.com. So Northern Nevada Kart Club, Reno.com. And if you're kind of new to karting or you want more information on karting, go check out their website, regardless if you're in Reno, Sparks, or kind of that region anyhow. You guys have done a really nice job with the website over the past couple of years. There's a lot of information for new people. Your calendars are always up to date. So Kelsey, who's in charge of that kind of stuff?
Me.
You?
Yeah. Yeah, I do that.
You do that. Well, I mean, you've done a great job. Like I said, there's been times I've looked at your website and I've stolen a couple of things off of it for NorCalKarters.com, because you guys have done a really nice job of just getting the information out there. And again, it's up to date, it's accurate. I love how if I hear an announcement on your calendar or a race change, that it's already updated on the website before it's like I go from Facebook, I check out the website, it's like, oh, it's already updated. So that stuff is great. So keep up the hard work there.
Yeah, any input, I always ask for input from people about what we need and what would be helpful. So.
Yeah, and again, you guys have great resources on there. You have some how-tos and some other stuff, and race registration information is pretty straightforward. Actually, who would like to speak to the different layouts of NNKC? You guys have multiple layouts. Aubrey, Brooks, Jeremy, would one of you like to speak to the different layouts?
Brooks, what do you got? You've been racing there for a while.
Brooks is
So we have 2 different short track layouts. One is we run out of 2 down the hill into what we call short 3, and then we run back around backwards, what we would call long 3, and then we would run up the hill up what for the long layout is 6 into 7, and then down in 3, 8, 9. And then we have the other one we have is we'll run long 3. Yeah, so that's actually the original. Yeah, so that's the original layout. So yeah, that's track 2 right there. So yeah, track 2 is probably one of my favorite layouts. We've gotten the kart figured out for that layout, but I really like that layout because you got two really good braking zones down into 3, and then you have a really, really hard braking zone down into turn 9. And turn 9 is really on this layout right there. That's really about keeping your roll speed up, and you just got to make sure you get through that corner well. Otherwise, you don't get down the straightaway and you get brake trained.
So you have multiple layouts here. You have, let's see, track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, track 5, track 6, track 7. So a lot of different layouts here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only in one direction.
Yeah,
that's
track one is
true.
really
Yeah, that's a
weird.
good point, Jeremy. How often do you? Let's bring Jeremy up. How often do you guys run multiple? The different directions.
We've tried a couple times practicing where we've done opposite direction, but it's fairly rare. But I do enjoy running the track backwards. Turn 5 is a little tricky on a bike backwards, so we end up usually not running turns 4 and 5 when we do it in that direction, just because it ends up being kind of a jump at the top. But there's a lot of opportunity to mix it up there. It's great. A lot of variation.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder if out there in turn 1, if one of the fence poles is still bent from when I hit it back in like 2000. That's why I have a podcast, so I can talk about myself. So this is great. So yeah, I mean, again, in the information, the track layouts, I just took that off of NNKCReno.com. So again, their site's very easy to navigate. I'm going to talk about their site a lot because again, it's one of the sites I've put down on my personal reference, like, oh, this is easy to find information, etc. So Kelsey, great job on that.
Thank you.
And Aubrey, let's bring you on for a moment. Let's talk about. You said you're one of the newer members of the club.
Yeah, so I joined the club, I don't know, maybe March of last year, and it was really just to get my daughter into it. I raced SCUSA back when they had regions, so this would have been like 98 through, say, like 2003 or so. And so I ran the S2 125 shifter class, ran KT 100s for numerous years throughout Southern California, but we left Southern California last year because my other business, I own 2 salons with my wife, and the governor shut us down. So we came out here to Reno, to our other location. We have one in Midtown, and just so happened that where we moved to is down the street from NNKC, which, by what I've done my whole life almost, is right up my alley. So we joined and just got my daughter into a used Tony cart and threw a LO206 on it. And she's been out there just practicing. We have probably about 6 or 7 days out there. And we hope to do the Junior 2.6 or the Junior 2 class with them this next year. But like what Kelsey was saying, I ran a couple races with them and just worked the corners. And it's just been a great experience with the whole club. Great group of people, great family orientation, of course, which club racing is. And so yeah, it's been a great experience.
So what's it like to work a corner and then also having your kid on the track at the same time?
Well, luckily she hasn't been racing yet. We're just getting kind of testing the water. She's done plenty of indoor racing with other, which is less skilled folks. I think when you get into club racing and it's a little bit more of an open format, be it that it's an open racetrack, we have actual race gear. Everyone wants to get on and off the track in one piece. You go to an indoor track and people are just throwing on the helmet and the head sock, and I feel like it's almost kind of like a great sense of security for some odd reason, but she's done very, very good in indoor racing. I used to work for K1. She's been in there numerous times. In here in Reno, we have what is that? A Need for Speed, I believe it is, or Need to Speed, and we've had great times out there. But this next season, she'll be out with actual racers, dicing it up. So it should be a good time. And I'm just really excited to be able to do some club racing again, because it's been itching on me over the last 10, 20 years of just, how can I get back into it? Working for companies, that's fine, but how can I get back into racing? So it's just nice that we wound up planting ourselves down the street from NNKC, and now I have this in my backyard. So I'm really happy about it.
Now, did you ever make the trip up to Reno when you were racing yourself back in the late 90s, early 2000?
No. So I was we did the Mission region, which
Yep.
would have been, say, the furthest north I really went would have been Santa Maria. So
Okay.
we did Willow Springs, Santa Maria, and then everything south of that. Imago in North County, San Diego would have been my spot. One of the last races I did was out at Paris in the rain, and I think Almendinger and Speed were out there at the same time. So that would have been my era of racing.
And you beat both of them, right?
Yeah, S2 class, so I was a little slower than them. Good stuff, though.
Absolutely. So I kind of want to stay on you because you brought up the corner worker thing. And I think it's very interesting that you have racing experience. You wanted to get back into a club, and you decided to go work a corner.
Yes.
As someone that's been around the sport for a long time, how has that changed your perspective, being either from a driver, a mechanic, a tuner? Now you're on the track, making sure the drivers are being safe. And how does that change your perspective?
Well, it changes it a lot. So going from being, I was sponsored by Dad, so he was my motor man, my chassis man, all that fun stuff. And I just had the privilege to drive. So I now know the stress that he had, be it that now I'm the dad, doing all the tuning. And then I see other people's children out there on the track, and it's like, these are things they're doing, 50 miles an hour plus with only hay bales or other items. So it's a little nerve-wracking in the sense that I care for people. After that, it's a great way just to see racing from another perspective. I love the sport. So if it's me working corners and having a good time or hanging out in the pits with my kids and all that stuff, it's I don't know if I'd really change one for the other. I mean, it sounds like a good time to me on both ends. The biggest thing for me is the camaraderie that happens out there, the care that happens out there. I know NNKC does a good job. A little secret to it all, back in 2000-ish, 2003, it was a little rough out there at some tracks, and the attitudes were a little rough, and I really was curious about bringing my daughter into karting again. And so what I did, instead of just throwing her right into racing and us getting into the mix of things, was just to volunteer and to hang out on the track and meet the families and meet the people out there. And I'll have to say, NNKC has got it down. It is so family oriented. People are so open. Everybody in the pits have been so welcome to be able to say hi to us saying hi to them, checking out the carts, seeing what they're doing. And so the openness is really where I thought it was. It's just running shifters back in, say, the between 98 and say 2002, 2003. It was a little rough. It was a motor builder's world. I would have to say that. So, as the term to put it lightly. But even then, I wouldn't trade it. Those were some great years, and man, those are some radical motors that we were racing. So,
yeah, it is different. I try not to. I'm from the same era, so I try not to go to the. Oh, back then it was better because
no, it was different. Yeah.
But I mean, you can't argue when you had the amateur class with 120 in the S2 at the Super Nats.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, you can't argue with that.
No. Incredible times. That's for sure.
Yeah, so exactly. So thanks for sharing your thoughts on that, especially, again, the different perspectives. Let's bring on Jeremy, because this is going to be a completely different perspective. Jeremy, 2 wheels. Let's see if I can get this video queued up for you guys, but I think we're right at the start-finish line, so give me a moment here. And then walk us through Reno.
Yeah, so
mini-moto.
This was from our first race at NNKC. This is with the NorCal Moto Championship Series. Got some really fast riders here in front of me. This is my GoPro footage. We've got Hayden Mang in front of me, and I forget who's out there in the very front, but Hayden's actually running in the one of the Aprilia 125, or actually 250 series this next year. It's kind of a path to MotoGP. So he's quite a good rider, nationally ranked rider. So we're going down through 5 here and into 6. This big sweeper 6, and then up the hill into 7. Is the big kind of off-camber left-hander here, and then back down through the kink of 7, and then the left-hander of 8, 9 chicane, and back onto the straight.
So there's a lap around NNKC, also known as Northern Nevada Kart Club. And I missed it. What CCs is the mini-moto that in this video here?
This is the Super Mini and Thunderbike classes. So this is up to 150 cc 4 strokes and up to 85 cc 2 strokes. So I'm on a 150R. The kid in front of me is on a KX65, and the leader out front there is also on a 150R 4-stroke Honda.
Okay. And then how is the track for you guys with the mini-moto stuff?
It's set up really well. There's some areas here, like if you can see in this left-hand corner here, there's kind of a high curb. That's a little bit scary for a bike, but we kind of stay away from that. The track surface here is a little bit slick compared to some of the other tracks. So if you have experience on the track, it's definitely a good place to have a home field advantage because of the low grip that the track has. So getting practice there is key to finding that edge that you can ride to. I'm sure that the karters would agree that that's kind of the case there. You go down to places like Stockton or Dixon or Reading, any of the other tracks that KPX runs. They're just a little bit different, but all in all, I think the dynamics of this track is far above any of the other tracks in this region, just because we do have all the elevation change and just different types of corners. Super fun track to run.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the racers nowadays are kind of missing out on Reno because it's just too far to drive, right? And this will kind of be a good segue into the different shops and the racers that come out of Reno that support all the Northern California karting tracks. Just yesterday I was out at Prairie City, and Rodney Rivera, Nevada. Kelsey, what's his shop? Nevada Kart Sport is Rodney. Yeah. And, he's out at Prairie City practicing. And Cole Nelson and, CNR, they're at all the NorCal tracks supporting our NorCal tracks. And you guys do a great job hosting and trying to get people to come up. And I don't get it. Like Reading and Reno are not that far from the Central Valley of California. And it's always, it's too far. It's too far. And I remember back when I raced, we really turned the Reno trips and the Reading trips kind of into vacations, where obviously Reno is mainly known for, the downtown, the gambling, etc. But there's so much stuff to do away from the karting. It's like, take an extra day and have fun with it, and go support it. Go support the track. And I mean, the Reno track is a great layout, and you're really not going to experience that kind of a layout elsewhere, at least in our area. And just be neat to see more participation at your guys' track, and you guys do a great job. Now, I will say, and I said it during the video, they got to get rid of that curb coming on the straightaway. But I also remember races where cart after cart after cart would go through their full throttle coming on the straightaway. Someone would either kick up a little dirt, or they would not quite, get through there, skillfully, and they'd end up in the fence. So I understand why, the track had to say, okay, we need to slow the racers down somehow. Because I don't know. I don't know if I'd rather hit the curb or hit the fence.
Curb.
Hit the
Curb.
Not the fence. Yeah, and I think, Aubrey, you were talking about some of the pro moto stuff. I think it was a pro moto race. We had 2 or 3 guys go over the fence right there, coming on the straightaway. It's like, and even the promoters there, I think they put out temporary barriers and everything to try to slow people down. But I mean, it's just such a fun track. And as we saw with the mini-moto stuff, you have the corkscrew, and you have the top of turn 7 where it's at the top of the hill and you're coming down. Brooks, why don't you talk about some of your stuff? Some of your racing this year, 2021. What were some of your highlights on the track?
I think definitely the biggest highlight of this year would probably be obviously the last race of the year, getting that championship synced up. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome racing out at NNKC. It's one huge family. I mean, everybody just hangs out with everybody. Most of the time after races, guys will hang out, and like we'll just have parties after the races sometimes, and it's just a big family.
You say you'd have parties after the races?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes. All right, give me expand on that a little bit more. Like just the off the track, because I always find it very interesting how families spend so much money on karting, and then especially the younger kids, like at the end of the day, they're sitting there chasing used kart tires, or they're chasing the track dog, or they're doing stuff like that. Why don't you share some of the memories that you have and some of those experiences that you take away, not necessarily with your helmet on, but with the helmet off?
Yeah, so like there's, especially with the younger group of kids, a lot of the parents try to have parties at the track, because especially with a lot of the younger classes, all the kids are friends and stuff. And so we're all just hanging out all the time. We'll go hang out in each other's motorhomes all the time. We'll go talk about lines, and I mean, just what's going on, and it's just a huge family.
Very good, very good. So is it one of those places where you just can't wait to get back to again?
Oh yeah, I mean, last year we were supposed to not run club. We were supposed to focus on KPX and not run a club race, or not run for points in the club. But my parents had bought a membership because we wanted to be able to go to the track anytime we wanted to get testing in. So we bought the membership, and we ran the first race of the year because it was near my birthday, and we were running my favorite layout. And so we ran that layout. We went out and we won. And after that, I wanted to keep racing the club series. And yeah, so we ended up running club all year that year. And then we're probably going to run club again this year. Hoping, and then we have a really good shifter class right now. Our
125 shifter?
started 125, and then we have a couple guys out there with an 80.
Okay.
So that class has started to die off a little bit, but it's come back pretty good. We got at least 10 guys, about 10 guys a race out there. So I mean, the ages range too. Like one of our buddies at the track who drives a shifter, I think he's like 70, and he's still racing. So there's a lot of guys like that out there. Mitch Kennedy.
Oh, Mitch Kennedy. Oh, yeah. I know Mitch. Yeah.
Jason's all, that's my friend.
Yeah. I don't want to be an asshole, but Mitch was old when I was racing. And it's Kelsey can probably fill in on this. Was it Randy K? Was that Mitch's buddy, Randy K?
I'm not sure.
So they would always travel together, and Mitch would show up to, like, my home tracks, and Mitch is a good dude. Like he's like a lifer Carter, and he would just show up and he would be like fast in the top 3. It's like, man, who is this old guy? Like he just kicked our asses, and then you get to know Mitch. It's like he's very laid back. He's casual. He's a good dude, and it's like, yeah, it was kind of a little ego pill I had to swallow. It's like, all right. And yeah, good old Mitch Kennedy. So I'm glad to see he's still running out there. That's great news. So let's, Kelsey, can you talk to us about a schedule for 2022?
Yeah. So at our December meeting, the club wanted to do 8 races. So we are really trying to push 8 races this year. So we're going to start April 3rd, hopefully, if the weather's good. April 24th will be a rain date. And then May 1st and May 22nd. June 12th, although that date could change to the following weekend, depending on if the airport authority here has pylon training that weekend. We should find out that this month, so that'll be set in stone here soon. July 10th for the 5th race. July 10th, sorry, is KPX. July 17th is the 5th race. August 7th, and then August 27th is going to be our night race, and then September 25th and October 2nd is a rain date.
Okay, so you guys are picking up another KPX event up there?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be good.
Yeah.
So, hopefully those organizers can round up more support for people to travel, because it's not far. It's like 2.5 hours. It's like,
yeah. I mean, we travel everywhere and everything's far for us. I mean, the closest racetrack for us is 2.5 hours. So
yeah. And so while we have you on the show, I know you do a lot of work with I'm getting too many abbreviations in my head. You do a lot of work for Northern Nevada Kart Club. But plug your husband's team. It's CNR. You have Cole Nelson Racing. You guys travel all over the place. So you are no strangers to hitting the pavement and supporting NorCal tracks. But give your husband's shop a plug.
Yeah. Cole builds Invader go-karts. His grandfather built them, and then his dad built them, so they've been around for a really long time. Cole started building them in 2010, I think, and I think every year we build more karts to sell to people. Cole has a big team. Last year, he went to North Carolina, he went to Indiana, Arizona, so this year, I think, he went to Idaho too, and I think he's going to try to do a lot of the same racing this year. So, yeah, a lot of local stuff, really easy. If you want to do a ride and drive, just check it out, see if you like karting or not. Just want to get a feel for what karting's all about. His ears always open, phones ready to go.
So you did mention that you guys did a lot of travel, nationally last year. Is that because you're so focused on the four-stroke stuff, and there was some big national races going on with the series kicking off?
Indiana had been a trip that we'd wanted to do for a long time, and it just didn't pan out, just didn't quite make it there. But I think there's enough people on our team that are excited to do more racing and travel and go to different racetracks. We've kind of seen the same ones over and over again. So it's really fun to go to different areas, go to places where, you've never been, a lot of new people to race. So I think that's been kind of the motivation for traveling.
Nice.
Idaho, they went to the Spud Cup last year, and that was some of our racers' favorite race of the year. Some of the kids' favorite race of the year. Brooks got in. I don't remember his name. I think it was Travis or something. They got to be good friends, and then he saw him later at a different racetrack. He was racing in Prairie City or in that area for something, but it was pretty cool. So it's fun to travel around and do different stuff. So I think this year Cole, has the same plan going on. So a lot of going to different parts of the country.
Okay. I'm going to bring Brooks up real quick, and then right after that, I'm going to bring Jeremy back on. And then Jeremy, kind of think about if you guys have a calendar for 2022. But before I forget, Brooks, how old are you?
I'm 14 going on 15.
14 going on 15. So how do you keep in touch with your racing friends when you're not at the track? Do you know what Facebook is? Are you on Facebook? Or is that just for old people?
I'm not allowed to. For me, I'm actually not allowed to have social media.
You're not allowed to have social media. Okay.
Oh.
I'm actually very fine with that parental strategy. So how do you keep in touch with your racing friends?
So yeah, we just a lot of us exchange phone numbers. I have a whole bunch of friends at the track's phone numbers on my phone right now. If they don't have a phone, we'll ask parents if I can contact the kid through their phone, and yeah, we just try to find other ways to hang out. I've been to birthday parties for kids at the track, and it's just it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, and I don't think a lot of people realize that aren't around karting a lot. It's a completely different network, and like for me personally, most of my friends are racers out of the area, and so to call people up for a barbecue, it's kind of tough because it's everyone's 3, 5, 10 hours away or on the other side of the country. So it's good that you have some sort of a strategy in place to get a hold of your friends and keep in touch with them between races. But yeah, and I really like the idea you're not on social media. So, all right, Jeremy, your turn. Let's talk about some mini-moto again. So do you guys have a tentative schedule out?
We are working on it. So with the NNKC schedule coming out tomorrow, we're going to be using those dates to try and fit in around what they've got going on. Probably do one race with each series, each of the 2 series that we're looking to host. One with NorCal Moto Championship Series, just like we did last year. As well as possibly introducing Supermoto USA, holding an event there as well. Also, we have in the works a proposal that we're going to vote on tomorrow to actually hold a kids class in with the kart days. So 50cc and under, younger children, kind of geared towards beginner riders to be able to introduce them to the karting community and racing, and I think it'd be a great addition to the Karters Race Day.
Yes. Now, do you guys ever do like any cross promotion with the karting stuff as well?
But that's what we're kind of looking to start getting into. This is our second year being allowed as members into the club, so we're trying to kind of tread lightly and not not ruffle any feathers too much, us being the new guys on the block. So, yeah, it's a slow process, but I want to say, while you have that picture up, I love what they did with that corner there. That was one where there was dirt being dragged up onto the straightaway on the exit, and I think that was a great solution that worked really well to add some extra skirting there and just some warning markers. Those are just pieces of rubber hose there at the inside of the corner. I think something like that, where the large curving is on 8, could be really beneficial as well.
But I'm kind of glad you brought that up, because I'm looking at the picture. It's like, what is going on there?
So, yeah, that's
that's
just
not
rubber
rebar.
hose.
That's rubber tubing just sticking up out of the ground.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
and then going over, is that a maybe Ashley can maybe speak to, I'm not Ashley, Kelsey can speak to, is that a temporary thing to see how the track is going to work with the that layout, or is that kind of a permanent idea?
For what, the tubing or the
for the tubing and how they're coming on the straightaway? Because it looks like there's also a little bit of a lip there.
Yeah, so that was all dirt before, and it got paved in, and so the idea is we don't want it to be a racing surface. Okay. So we don't want to make it like a shortcut for racers to go through and then potentially pass or gain a position or whatever. So but there was a big safety concern when people do cut the curb there for whatever reason. It pulls on a lot of dirt onto the track and causes problems for the other racers. So we put the cement there, and so there's a pretty big gap at first, a drop, and then it gradually goes back up to the racing surface. But it's not comfortable if you drive over that. So you're not going to get a lower lap time by going over that, and you're not going to gain a position. But if you do go over that, it's not going to drag so much dirt onto the track that you cause accidents behind you.
Got it. Yeah, and I know, again, going back years ago, there was a time that every time I went to Reno, that section was always different. and as I got older and I paid more attention to how race promoters or track designers are trying to, regulate what the racers are going to do, it's like, if you give them an inch, they're going to take 2. Mm-hmm. So I definitely understand the difficulties you guys have up there trying to deal with that. Let's see, who wants to go next, and who wants to touch on something else?
I'm just going to add on real fast to to that turn 8 and 9. So at least us in Virginia too. Me and my friend, me and a couple of the kids in our team, in our CNR team, we've been running there for a while, and we figured out how to get through there just right to where on that little where there was dirt, we could get through there and just barely hook our front tire on that edge of the asphalt, and we get through there fast. And so when we would do that, it would spray a little bit of dirt. And if we would miss just a little bit to the inside, it would spray a whole bunch of dirt on the track.
So from a little bit to a whole bunch?
Right. So with this, we can still run our line. And if we get it wrong, it just kind of upsets the cart and gets us sideways. But we can still run our line and still run that front tire over that inside part of the track and not have the issues, the dirt issues that we used to have.
Yeah, no, that's some great insight, because it's a little bit of dirt's not fun. A lot of dirt's definitely not fun. So to help get some of these NorCal karters up to your track, let's start with Kelsey. We'll go around the horn. What is your favorite, if you were a tourist, what would be your favorite destination in the Reno area?
I grew up around here. So I didn't grow up in Reno. I grew up in Portola, which is like an hour away. But I like to be outdoors and do stuff outdoors. So there's a lot of really fun hiking, swimming, outdoor activities to do besides go-karting.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have Tahoe, right over the
Yeah.
hill.
Yeah.
The Donut
I,
area, Truckee, some beautiful outdoor areas.
Yeah, there's a really neat area, kind of, I guess, north of Downeyville that is pretty neat. Gray Eagle, Sierraville area. Those are really awesome places to go. Lake Davis, Frenchman's Lake, although we had the fires last year, so I don't know if Frenchman's is really as pretty right now. But yeah, there's a lot of places to go around here to do different things.
So you
Virginia
want to get
City is also
outdoors.
really fun. I like Virginia City a lot. It's really cool, old time town.
Did you say Virginia City?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the old boomtown.
Yeah.
Yep. How about you, Aubrey? If someone's asking you, and I'm coming up to Reno. I'm going to be up there for a race. What should I go do while I'm up there?
It kind of depends on what you're into. Me, myself, coming from Southern California, this is very, very reminiscent of Southern California. I got the snow right here. I got skateboarding all around me. The only thing I don't have is surfing, but I'm fine with that. I didn't deal with 45 minutes to find a parking spot. But, yeah, I would have to say hiking. My daughters and I, we've been going out hiking and enjoying a little bit of snowshoeing and all that fun stuff. I mean, it's absolutely amazing around here. As a transplant, I have no problems finding something fun to do. So that's besides that, going to the track. I would have to say now that I just put new tires on our rims, so I feel like Popeye right now. But we're gonna go out to the track and get some wear marks on the tires. So that'll be nice.
Nice. Brooks, what would you tell your buddies that are coming up from California? Things they should do when they go to Reno?
My favorite thing to do is me and Cole like to go fishing a lot.
Okay.
So
again, back to the outdoors.
Yeah, especially with out by the track, there's a couple lakes within 2 hours. Like Kelsey was saying, Davis Lake is 45 minutes away from the track.
Okay.
So I love to go fishing. Just being out on the boat and on the water is it's really calm. So.
All right, so we got fishing. I love fishing. I wish they called it catching, but. So Ashley, as a tourist, what do you do when you go to Reno?
Well, actually, I have family in the Sparks area, so I try and go see my family. But I've always just kind of stayed in by the casinos or by Grand Sierra or anything like that. So that's kind of where I go.
The driving range into the lake.
Yeah, right.
And Jeremy, how about you?
Oh, there's a million great things to do if you're into outdoors. Dirt biking obviously is amazing. There's so many places to ride. Mountain biking. Golf scene is really good. Tons of courses around Truckee and Tahoe. The nightlife is really cool. Kind of downtown, midtown area has super great nightlife. Lot to offer as far as outdoors, though, is probably number one. You can get out into the desert. You can go up to Pyramid, great fishing at Pyramid. Just a lot of cool places to see. It really has something for everyone. I love the Reno Tahoe area, so it's got it all. Except
I love it.
There's surfing at Tahoe. People surf Tahoe.
I have heard that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I just love it how it's pretty much everyone's outdoors. There's a lot to do outdoors, etc.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important too. It's just, you kind of got to use that. I hate to say it, but sales pitch. All right, how do we bring people up? I know, a lot of the families, they like to go to downtown, and I'm assuming Circus is still around, and the casinos and things like that, where it's kind of a novelty. If you haven't been to them before, it's like, oh, let's go check it out. Let's go do this. Or I know for me, I didn't gamble a lot when I went up there. But I would definitely go out to, I think it's called Sierra. Is that what it's called now? The
Grand
big hotel out there on the east side of town, and they had the driving range into the lake or the pond.
Yeah. Grand Sierra Resort.
Grand Sierra Resort, yes. And that was always fun. It's like you hang out with your buddies, like, all right, let's see who can drop it on an island.
Like it.
So what else do you guys have for me tonight?
I have a couple things if you want to
Absolutely.
talk about them. So we're preparing for the year this year at the kart club, and we need a couple staff people to help out. So if there's any experienced race directors or other people that want to work at the track for races, we would greatly appreciate it. We pay, or if you want to just help out at all in other ways, that would be great. We are hoping to have a big race at the end of the year, but we'll see what we can put together for that. We have a swap meet we want to do for our right before the first race of the year. So April 2nd, we want to do a swap meet.
Yeah, send me that information because I know a guy that might have carts for sale.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, and what else? I had a couple things.
So corner workers, race director, or flag
Race
people.
director, flag people, EMT. We have people that can do it, but lots of these guys like to race, or like this year they're going to start racing, so we're going to lose a couple. So it's just always nice to have extra people. I'd rather have more people than not enough.
Of course.
Yeah, so anybody that wants to help or spend a day at the racetrack watching races, it's always fun.
Yeah, for sure. When you put some information together for me, and I'll push it out on NorCal Carters.
Yeah,
that's important. And I think people need to realize, like, even though you said they're paid positions, but a lot of the times the clubs are volunteer based, and without the folks that are volunteering, these races are not going to happen.
Right, and like race director in particular is whether you're paid or not, that is not an easy position to be in. You can't make everybody happy at the racetrack. Things don't always go perfectly because you have racers that are doing their own thing. And sometimes stuff happens. So
stuff happens.
So, just different strokes for different folks out there. But the race director does not have an easy task. So, people get really upset. I understand people get really mad in the moment. They get heated, whatever. But we've had the same race director for a few years, and I think now he's just burned out, which I can totally understand. So, yeah, we're just looking to try to get somebody in there that is experienced and hopefully can help promote and benefit our racetrack.
Very cool. Yeah, and again, make sure you get that information to me so I can send it out on the NorCal channel.
Yeah, I can do that. If anybody ever has questions or concerns or anything they want to talk to the board, the secretary, Danya, and I are really responsive on email. That's probably the best way to get a hold of us. I didn't close it. I turned off my Facebook, so I don't do social media anymore right now. So I'm not responsive on there. So really the best way to get a hold of us is through email.
What is your email?
nnkc.reno@gmail.com.
At reno.gmail.com. Best way to get a hold of you. And you guys are very responsive. I will say that. It's when I sent out the primer for the show tonight, Danya responded right away. And and then here we have, a full panel to talk about Northern Nevada Kart Club. So this is great.
Yeah, and then every Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month. We're doing. We have our club meetings, our monthly club meetings, and we are always having a Zoom component. So if you want to participate or virtually attend, just email us so we can send you the link for it. It's at 6 p.m. if you're in Reno. It's at the Gold and Silver in Reno, off of Keystone and 4th Street, I think.
Okay. And then just a plug for your website as well, nnkcreno.com. I know last year you had all the board meetings listed on the calendar.
Yeah, I had a baby last year, so I have been slacking a little bit. But all that stuff's going to go up probably this week. We'll have all the meetings, all the races, everything up.
Perfect. Well, you already said officially your schedule's coming out tomorrow. So
yeah, but it'll be
you're off the hook.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll have it up tomorrow, but
they'll have to watch this podcast again.
Yeah. Or come to the club meeting.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Anybody else on that topic or anything else? Aubrey?
No, I mean, you and I spoke a little bit back in December. Maybe we can do another stream at another time about what you and I spoke about. But, I think, it's the NNKC, being highlighted is really important. And this is a great group of people and a great club to be a part of. And what a great track to have 7+ tracks available to you or layouts available to you. So, it's a good thing to just wind up at the end of the street. I'm seriously 7 minutes away from the track, so it's a blessing in disguise for me.
Was it Lemon Valley Drive? Is that the exit?
Yep, that's exactly it. Yep, I'm right next to the regional park, and the track is. I mean, I can see it from my driveway. It's pretty amazing. So.
Yeah, and again, you can find NNKC on YouTube, their website. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of NNKC, and for sure, we're definitely going to do a follow up with you guys, later in the year as well. And that's point of NorCal Karters. I mean, we kind of have to adopt you guys, even though you're not in California.
Yeah, right.
A lot of your racers come out here, and a lot of your shops come out here and they support, the local karting community. So it's important to highlight all the tracks.
For sure.
We ended last year with over 100 members in our club, and our racing average at our club races was about 70 racers. So we've been having really good numbers for races, and we've been having, great success in just having a membership and having people out at our track. So our local presence seems to be pretty good for karters, and then it just shows in our racing. Even through COVID and everything, we've been having a really good race turnout, and it's been really great race days.
Yeah, and I think that's important to stress as well. It's as far as the entries and the classes. Actually, let's one of you highlight the classes, and then we'll go to Jeremy, and he can kind of talk to us about the different mini-moto classes. And then we'll slowly, wrap up the show that way. So who wants to talk about the different classes?
Brooks, you know most about the classes?
Yeah, I know a decent amount. So we got we have a Junior 1 LO206 class. We have a Junior 2 LO206 class. Right now, we actually have a pretty decent kit kart Honda class. And then we have our Senior LO206. We have a Heavy LO206, which is Kelsey, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's a 30 and up for 30 and up for our heavier people in the club.
It's just heavy. It used to be a master's type class, but we just changed it to heavy because there are a lot of younger guys that don't want to race the seniors, but would rather put the weight on and race with the older guys.
Got it. And that's still 4-stroke? I missed the class.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have what's called a super stock class. and it's basically it's a 206 motor with, I don't know all the specs on it, but it's a 206 motor with some different internals in it. I think it's got different piston and a couple
It's
different
an
things in it, but it's running on methanol.
it's an animal running on alcohol, is what it is.
Oh, it's an animal on alcohol. Okay.
There's a class, a guy, I think in Southern California, came up with a set of rules. We have it linked on our website, and so we kind of follow those. And then there's a kit if you have a 206 motor that, the 206 is sealed on the lower end. So if you have a motor that, is worn out, or, a couple of years ago they changed the pop-up. If it was not meeting the specs for the pop-up, then you could break the seal and then, like Brooke said, replace the piston and a few other things, and obviously some stuff in the carb, and then run it on alcohol, and you have a new motor to run at a class. So, and
nice.
that one is 30 and over.
30 and over. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you already talked about the shifters earlier with my buddy Mitch.
Yeah, we've got quite a few 125 shifters, and we have a couple guys running an 80. Me myself, I'm talking to a couple guys about trying to get into one for a couple races this year. And then we have a tag. Trying to get a couple races in one.
Nice.
And then we have a tag and a KA100 class.
All right. I think you did a pretty good job going down the order there.
One clarification: Kid Kart is not just Honda. There's Comers and Hondas in it. So.
Okay, so Kid Kart's Comers and Hondas.
Yeah, but for us, it's non-competitive. So we're really stressing just getting kid karters familiar with what to do on race day, how it works, used to karting in general. And then when they move to junior one, then it can become serious racing.
Okay. And all this information can be found on your website?
Yeah.
Perfect. NNKCReno.com?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that a lot, just so I get in the habit of it.
Yeah. And we like to kind of be a run what you brung class. So if you have something that is not necessarily called out on the schedule for the day, we'll put you somewhere and you can race. May not be for points, but you'll be able to go out and get laps in.
Nice. And I think that's important at that club level, where someone might have something that's not quite compliant, it's like, but they still want to try the racing.
Yes. Some people still bring out clones once in a while. I haven't seen one in a while, but a couple people last year did, and then immediately got animals after they went out once or twice. So, or all 206s once they went out once or twice. So.
Very cool. Hey, Jeremy, how about you followed up with the mini-moto stuff? Why don't you talk about your classes?
Yeah, so there's for kids, they have a 37cc class that's geared more towards like the pocket bike, like little tiny 6-inch wheel GP style chassis pocket bikes. There's a 50cc class that runs both. They have 2-stroke and 4-stroke versions of that class. There's a 65cc 2-stroke class. There's also 125 4-stroke classes. There's what they call a thunder bike class, which is 125 air cooled up to 160cc. There's the super minis, which are 85cc 2-strokes and up to 150cc 4-stroke water-cooled bikes, which is actually what you're seeing right here. And we allow 65cc water-cooled 2-strokes to run that class as well. They can run up a class, which you can see there's 2 of those in that shot. And then from there, there's the larger chassis bikes, which are the 250cc 2-strokes and 450cc 4-stroke bikes, which is like the full-size supermoto class. And there's a couple different variations of that based on experience. There's amateur and pro classes, as well as vet classes as well for age groups. So
okay. And then real quickly, I may have missed it. What is the minimum age, and I assume the upper end age doesn't matter if you're capable.
Yeah. There's kind of same thing with kartings. There's some older gentlemen that like to run with us for sure, and into their late 60s and 70s. The youngest I've seen on track, like I don't know if you're familiar with the Stasic electric bikes. That's basically a Strider bike with a motor in it.
Okay.
You can have a 2-year-old riding on one of those, and we'd have like an electric class, for that type of a bike. So it can be pretty young, but for the most part, it's like right around 4 years old that you start seeing kids on, the smaller, 50cc 2-strokes, or 4 strokes, and some of the other, mini GP style bikes.
And then once again, plug your Facebook page.
It is Reno Sparks Mini-moto on Facebook.
Reno Sparks Mini-moto.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Right Haas Racing.
Yeah, that's
Reno
buddy of
Sparks
ours.
Mini-moto.
Yeah.
He was a karter turned mini-moto guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Went to the dark side.
Also, go Sharks, Chris.
Oh, do we have a little bit of a hockey rivalry here?
It sounds like it.
Yes.
For
And
sure.
she has backup. So
I thought Go Kings. I was like, oh, it's basketball. And then when Kelsey said Sharks, like, oh, no, that's hockey. Well, since we have Jeremy up, I'll let you say a few parting words. Give yourself a plug, give your organization a plug, whatever. And then what we'll do is we'll just kind of do a round robin, and we'll exit out at the live stream. But don't leave the live stream when we end it. Just hang tight for a bit.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to thank the NNKC for giving us bikers a chance to come out and show that we want to be part of the club, and that we can help out with things, and be part of the community. It's been really great to get a chance to ride here and be a part of this club, because before that I was going down to Stockton. I was a member down there, and it was a lot just to go get a practice day in.
That's a long day.
Yeah, long day. So I'm really thankful that we're able to work something out with these guys, and join the community.
All right, and then I'm really good at butchering people's names. Is it Callender?
Callender.
It is Callender. Okay.
Callender. Yeah.
I didn't want to say Calendar because of the 2 L's, but
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So we have Jeremy Callender. Thank you for joining us with Reno Sparks Mini-moto. You can find them on Facebook.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. And then Aubrey.
Yes, sir. Just thank you for including me in this evening. This is a great group of people, and I love what you do with NorCal Carters. Just can't wait for this next 2022 season. This should be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You got any plugs you want to throw out there?
At this time, I'm going to keep everything kind of hold it close to the chest for right now. I've been working on a lot of stuff, and, unfortunately, my wife's salons take precedence over all the things that I do. So she, happy wife, happy life. Well, it's a true statement. So, you and I can get together for another podcast, and I can share what I'm doing in the karting community at that point in time.
Okay. Well, until then, plug the 2 salons.
Bristle Hairdressing. We have one in San Diego and one in Midtown Reno. We are a high-end salon, and we're very affordable for a lot of people. So what the biggest thing I have to say is that we're a craft community with quality provisions. It's just one of those things.
And no, they don't do my hair.
No. I have not seen Jason
Everyone's
in
like,
person
no.
yet. No, still waiting for that barbecue over the fire pit though. That's something we got to do this summer.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like it.
Aubrey King, thanks for joining us tonight.
Of course.
All right, let's see. Kelsey, you're up next.
So I'm looking forward to this year too. I think we have a great club. We have a lot of great people. Steve Dow's the vice president. Jeff Womry's the president. I'm treasurer. Danya's secretary, and I think we have a good group that'll do some stuff at the track this year. Get it, hopefully, spend some money on it and bring up some maintenance items. But yeah, if you're looking into racing at the track, let us know. If you want to buy a go-kart, my husband builds them.
Cole Nelson Racing.
Cole Nelson Racing, yeah. I try to keep those very separate though. So if you want to talk about Cole Nelson Racing, you gotta talk to him.
Yeah, no, you give him. It's fine to give him a plug.
Yeah. So yeah, and then my oldest here is going to be running kid kart this year, so that should be fun. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. So.
Very cool. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Brooks, you're next.
Just looking forward to a great season of racing. I don't know if Kelsey's still on here or not. She might have to correct me. But we do have for every race we are trying to get a live stream going for every single race. So even if you're not in town to watch a race live, you guys should still be able to watch it on I think it's either on YouTube or Facebook. Danya Medina, her husband, Gio, he sets it all up. So yeah, if you guys
need to be my
co-host
for the Reno stuff for 2022 because I completely forgot to mention the live stream for Reno.
Yeah.
And I started seeing the podium presentations and I wanted to bring it up. It's on my notes. I did it. Great job.
All right.
Live stream. And then we will link your guys' live stream throughout the year as well. Because I think that's important on promoting karting, just getting it out there. So good job. All right, Brooks, wrap it up. Who are your sponsors?
Sadly don't have any sponsors right now other than my parents, and then Cole Nelson helps me out a lot. Yeah, so that's about it.
Good job. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Ashley, your turn.
Hello, NorCal. All right, like Jason was saying earlier, we are getting into our February shows. We're going to do an open call for junior drivers. We're going to do an open call for spouses in karting and also NorCal mechanics as well. So tag them, message us, let us know who you want. If you want to talk about karting, let us know. Come on our show. Peace, NorCal.
All right, and that's our show for tonight. Again, that was NNKC, Northern Nevada Kart Club, and that was a good show. I've wanted to get them on for a while. They're doing some great things up there in Reno. If you're here in California in the Sacramento area, it really is only about a 2-hour drive. It's not very far. The track layout is a lot of fun. They have a lot of good core group members. I've known a number of them for many years, and they really welcome you with open arms. I should have asked Kelsey about this, but if it's coming up, they usually do a night race every year, and hopefully that's going to be on the schedule for the night race. If you've never raced under the lights in a kart, it's a lot of fun. It's a different experience. So thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back next week. And again, we're doing the live streams every Monday at 7:30. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook. We're posting more on Instagram. And just remember, if all of us got one new person into the sport next year, we would double. Have a great evening, and I will see you all later.